Okay, 31-9.
Yeah.
An obvious, as we get into what happened for this entire game,
Right.
obvious place to start.
Yeah.
The Chiefs not scoring a touchdown, I mean, that was just unthinkable. I
Yeah.
mean, it would have been a surprise to say, hey, the Bucs are going to win. But the shock here is in how well the Buccaneers defense played. So
The shock.
We're going to hit the particulars, but just your headline of why Tampa Bay's defense was so dominant against Mahomes.
Well, we played the clip already. Let's end the podcast. Let's go home. I mean, really, though, that front four, the physicality of their football team in general, I think, is what wins them the game. Hey, football, sexy as it is, stats, X's and O's, you and I both know, really, at a basic level, it still comes to who's the tougher, the bigger, the more physical team, who tackles, does those things. And there was obviously a leg up in that department for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But ultimately, the success you're talking about, it goes on to those front four. It is. And Todd Bowles, because holy he didn't blitz everybody.
Right.
I mean, I had a lot of people, like, when I was making those type of comments on, like, the radio, like, well, that's crazy. Todd Bowles is going to blitz. There's no way he'll do that. And I kept going, well, then he's not going to win the Super Bowl.
Right.
Because if he blitzes, they're going to lose. And he adjusted his whole coaching life for one game and said, man, I'd love to blitz, but this is just a week I can't do it. And I think he blitzed 5 times the whole football game. And the front four, just as the game went on, just continued to wear their out up front.
Right.
Added to this, just for my last big comment as we get into
Yeah.
specifics, Mahomes' toe was an issue.
Yeah.
It was an issue. His mobility was not at 100%. I
Good
just
question for
watched
that.
the film. So
G Hart 72, and you can get right
those
into
are
where
the
you were
three
going.
main things.
Yeah, and you can go right where you wanted to go there.
Right.
G Hart 72. How is the toe not a problem against the Bills, but a problem against the Bucs with an extra week of recovery?
Yeah, listen, that's the question right there, right? I was expecting, oh, hey, we saw him look better in the Bills game as compared to what we saw in the Cleveland game, and you went, oh, 2 weeks, he'll be even better now. He'll be close to 100%. We probably won't even be able to tell. It's really what I was expecting. I can promise you, and I know I got no way to back this up other than my wife and my 2 kids, but I can promise you on the first time he broke the pocket during the game, I went, he's not normal. That's not his normal speed. He's
Right.
faster than that. He usually has more explosion. I even noticed that, I think, on the first play or the second play of the game when he ran a little fake handoff and then he kept the ball in the RPO and Shaquille Barrett got on him and he had to throw the ball almost like left-handed to the back just to get the ball out of his hands. That was my first. I went, ooh, he didn't look right cutting off his leg there. Like he couldn't get out of the guy's way. So, but the answer to the question is, that is a serious injury.
The toe,
And,
yes.
I mean, again, it ruined Deion Sanders' career. It's ruined a lot of people's career. And it's not one of those things where you just go, oh, I injured it 3 weeks ago, and it gets better automatically. It can be.
Could have got worse.
That's what I mean. It can get better. And then all of a sudden, one day at practice, you take one wrong step or do something, and you go, holy f***, I'm worse than I was when I originally heard it.
Yeah.
And to me, it almost looked like that yesterday.
And
added to that, okay, here's the other thing. There's a Sunday report about he's getting surgery on the toe. So that tells you it's real. Like, it's real. He's told people he's concerned about it. The Kansas City Chiefs have obviously told people they're concerned about it. That's why it's being reported. And here's another thing that I wish I said on the morning show this morning. They were obviously concerned about it because they brought Matt Moore up from the practice squad. They had 3 quarterbacks for Super Bowl 55. Nobody's had 3 quarterbacks on the field in the Super Bowl in 10 years. So that just tells you that they went, what should we do with this extra spot? His toe's kind of up. Let's bring another quarterback up.
And there's no such thing as a good Sunday to have your offensive line get their ass kicked by the D-line. But when your toe is that bad, and this is one of my favorite numbers that came out of the action yesterday, 497. It's unofficial.
His throwing yards?
Yeah, right? I mean, game 1 against the same team.
Right.
But here we go. Patrick Mahomes ran a total of 497 yards before his passes sacks tonight per at Next Gen Stats. It got to a point where it was just, and I wrote this down in my notes, wash, rinse, repeat. He's going to drop back. They're going to rush 4. He's going to run around about 40 yards and fire it incomplete. That became, That's my number one image of their offense, that game, which
it is.
Prior to it, you never would have thought so.
Never would have thought so. Definitely not. Hey, listen, I underestimated the value of having to shuffle around their offensive line when Fisher went down. The fact that you got 3 guys playing 3 different spots and it's your first game and you got to play this crew. That's where if I self-scout myself, I go, Chris, you fucking idiot. Why did you're always talking about the line and you got to dominate up front. But it's Mahomes and Andy Reid, and I thought they'd figure a way out to maybe just lessen that a little bit.
Right.
But they got their ass whooped to an extent up front that not even Mahomes can make anything happen, let alone a Mahomes that's not 100%. That's where they need it. Listen, we didn't see the sprint out pass plays really much either.
It says a lot.
That tells you that they didn't want to overdo it with his foot. That to me spoke volumes. So, hey, not that I'm saying was the difference in the football game or anything like that, but it certainly changed certain aspects in how dangerous he could be as a football player. And yes, it cost him. This is where I think it really cost him. And this is where I don't know if, but even watching back on film, it just comes out to me. And this throw here, if you're watching on TV, the one that at the fourth quarter where he's falling down
dropped.
And he's 6 inches from the ground, and he still throws a 30-yard laser into the end zone. I mean,
you can't do that.
Nobody can do that. This is one of the most gifted guys ever in the history of the sport. But I think between the toe, the dominance in the front 4, and then I was a little surprised by the plan of attack by Kansas City early on.
Which part of it?
I feel like they came into the game a little bit of, they're going to play the same way they did the first time. We're going to call aggressive downfield passing plays. And then here we are, and it was like the 15th play of the game, and I'm going, the safeties are 30 yards deep. We can't keep running Tyreek Hill down there into triple coverage. And at what point are we going to start going short and dicing them up that way? And to me, that's where I was a little underwhelmed by Kansas City's plan of attack and maybe the lack of amount of plays they had that way to attack that way.
Question from at Emma Perez 09.
Right.
What did the Bucs do over the middle that the quick throws weren't there for Mahomes? And I think as your praise got more and more detailed from Mahomes and the offense as the season went on, you talked more about their willingness to be patient and throw underneath. Right. And it wasn't there yesterday.
It wasn't there yesterday. They didn't call plays to that at first. Like I said, I think, the first drive, Tampa played all coverage. The second drive, it started out coverage. And then on a first down, they blitzed with a crazy blitz. And then on third down, they blitzed with a crazy blitz. The one where he threw to Kelsey in the end zone, or Hill in the end zone.
And he dropped it.
He should have caught it for a touchdown, which was an amazing throw. But those were like only 2 blitzes early on. Now, what I like about that is you do those 2, and now they go to the sideline and go, wait, did you see those blitzes? How do we figure that out? We got to figure out how to stop that.
I had that written down to ask you.
And then they never ran them again.
Do you think it was random that they called those 2 aggressive, tough to figure out ones early, or was it part of the plan to be like, let's give them this to think about, because all we're really going to do is play back coverage anyway, but let's make them think this is what we're doing.
I think so. That would be my logic. I'm with you there. I thought they'd think, let's do coverage, let's throw a wrinkle or 2 at them real quick. So they're worried about that. They go to the sideline and go, hey, when we see those looks, we got to throw this play and this play. And then we never give them that play again. Right. And they came out the next series and kind of came out with some quick throws, like expecting blitz, and it was back to coverage again. And so to answer our question there, the front 4 dropping 7, and here's the brilliance of Todd Bowles too. Todd Bowles, they took a little bit of the Spags playbook. The deception and disguises on the back end were phenomenal. They were phenomenal. And that's always risky against Kansas City because, some guy misses Tyreek Hill off the line of scrimmage and your safety's down there low and supposed to get back, and now he can't catch up and Tyreek's gone. So that's why teams don't like to do that. But they were amazing at that and finding different ways to basically just play these combination 3 deep, 4 under looks where it was
a lot of 4 deep too, I thought.
Or 4 cover 4 with some everyone's man. There's man underneath.
Right.
They had all these cool zone man combination coverages. It's like they took stuff from the Patriots and the Raiders and all the teams that have had success against Kansas City. Right. And they kind of said, let's do all of them and put them in the game plan. And that's where it was really awesome.
One of the conversations we had a different version of a number of times, especially as the season went on, again, as you talked more and more about, I like the Kansas City's more patient now. I said a number of times, They just throw underneath these soft corners where there's no coverage underneath it. They do it again and again and again. Why doesn't the team roll the corners up, get some flat players out underneath those corners so that, to take that part of the game away?
Yeah.
And this is one of the first times where defense actually did that.
They did do that.
And it worked.
It worked, and they have the two guys on the inside to answer our question, too, with White and David, who can cover so much ground. Gosh. And then we're also, not outclassed by a guy like Kelsey when they had a matchup with him inside.
No.
I mean, that's not, they won a lot of the battles.
Yeah.
But that's where I'm shocked by the game plan. I'm still a little shocked by that on the Kansas City aspect. You couldn't go into the game thinking the Bucs were really going to do what they did the first time, did you? I mean, did you really think like, hey, they're going to be cool with bump and run Tyreek Hill again? Like, no way.
But just to play the other side,
cool.
It is how they had their most success during the year. I mean, they gave Aaron Rodgers his worst game in the regular season with all that confusion, with the heavy blitz. So even though one side of you would say they would never do that again, you could also, after seeing it a couple times early, just like you pointed out, say, this is their bread and butter.
I know.
Maybe they are going to go back with more.
I know. When you got Kansas City and that crew, I mean, nobody, you got to be crazy to blitz it. And you got to kind of know that to me if you're Andy Reid. And to me, where I wanted to really go with that was just to be like, hey, when you saw some of the Kansas City have success earlier in the drives and things like that got them on the field goal drives, hey, listen, go back and watch. I'll just tell you what happened. They worked the middle part of the field and found little ways to get three people on the two linebackers in the middle. And then it was, bam, Kelsey 8 yards over the middle, and he'd turn up for a few yards. They had it in there. To me, it was just like, where's more of it? We need to have 10 different ways to do what you just did right there. We can't just have these two ways with Kelsey and then nothing else. And that's what I was really coming into the game. I thought Kansas City will be ready to that. Anybody that listened to me the last 2 weeks, I was kind of saying this is how Tampa was going to play it. Because I just didn't, after watching the game back, I was just like, there's no way they could play it the way the first time around.
Right.
So either way, interesting. I'm shocked that Andy Reid and company didn't have more answers to that they did kind of bang their head on the wall to a degree and kept calling deep plays when you saw coverage was going to be the theme of the day for the Buccaneers.
I have a couple other places I want to go with this part of the matchup. Pete just mentioned something to me to show. Pete, which part do you want to roll up there? There we go.
Oh, so this is here. This is that third down. We talked about that. So this was, still early in the game. I believe it's still 0-0 at this point, right? This is going to set up for the long field goal. This is the one Tyreek Hill drops that really go through both of his hands.
First quarter,
So he's in the shotgun. They're going to call a deep pass play. And it looks like, see, look at this coverage, and don't start it yet, but look at this coverage where the safeties are and everything like that. Look, it's a corner out here. There's a safety over top of the corner. The other safety's playing like the middle of the field, and then they have a third safety over there playing by the zero. So to me, I want to show everybody, just for the purpose of this, there was a lot of this look. But they didn't blitz off of it very much, except for this play, which was a great hey, let me roll the dice. I feel comfortable in this down and distance with what they got on the field. Let me do it. Now roll it if you can, Pete. And you see, they drop the two backers. Rewind it one more time. And let's show everybody one more time so we go, So look, you got your 3-down linebacker. The two guys off the edge, are going to come. The two corner blitzes, the two middle linebackers drop out. Now, Mahomes knows, I don't have the right protection to pick up this other corner off. He does an unreal job of making the guy miss and making a throw that, listen, quite honestly, he's the only person in the history of the planet that can make it. I don't know what to say. One arm, running full speed with a 50% toe, and he just flicks it out there with his, and I mean, it was a hard catch, no doubt.
He dropped it. He dropped it.
He dropped it.
Yeah.
What's even worse is I don't think he even touched it. I think it went right through his hands and hit him in the face.
I think he thought that the defender, and I don't know which
was
one
going to make contact with him,
and he didn't.
I know.
It threw him off. It was like
so
he
too.
was ready to try and catch a
to brace himself
ball,
or whatever.
and it wasn't touched, and it went through the hands.
It went right through.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. Just an amazing throw. But the point of that, nonetheless, was great timely blitz where we've seen one blitz to this point. We're not really expecting, look, it's all these safeties back. They're going to play coverage set. What? This guy's coming? That's the kind of you got to do against, Mahomes and Reed and the Chiefs.
Question from No Limit Soldier, just what you've been talking about. Why didn't KC make any halftime adjustments offensively? One of the points he brought up, he said, why didn't Kansas City use screens or dink and dunk to kill the Bucs defense? I wrote down one set of my notes here.
Yeah.
They had a 3rd and 4 in the second quarter. They tried to set up a screen pass.
Yes.
Devin White
was all over
killed it.
They were running 2-man coverage.
Gave it 0 chance.
Yeah, they were trying to go like 2-man. And they were trying to get one of the linemen to get off and block on Devin White, and they're going to throw a screen to Edwards-Helaire. But he's a freak of nature.
Yeah.
I mean, you could argue, other than Mahomes, he was the second best player on the field last night.
Das Batlam question from him. Why wasn't Devin White the Super Bowl MVP?
Well, because he's not a quarterback. And unfortunately, that's just the way we live right now. Listen, I'll say this. The story of the game is the Bucs defense. Mm-hmm. I have no problem with Brady being the MVP. Mm-hmm. I have no problem. Yeah, it wasn't special. It's not like a great performance. I get that. I think if Devin White, and I'll piggyback off of what Florio said earlier today, if Devin White gets that interception earlier in the game, maybe he has a chance to get it.
Right.
He does. But it's hard for linebackers. You got to have picks and turnovers and probably some sacks to go along with it. And Brady still played very efficient football and made 2 out of the 3 really good touchdown passes. And it's
no
me.
surprise.
That's my pet peeve of the whole sport right now.
There's no surprise.
The quarterback is the MVP and Super Bowl regular season. The quarterback's the Heisman. Doesn't matter every year.
I want to get to more of the defense. Right. And Pete, I jumped this a little bit. So let's. We're now starting Damn Okay.
Okay.
And you know how that begins.
Yes.
Let's go ahead and roll the theme song.
Damn. I'm okay. Damn. I'm okay. Yeah, no, yes. I'm okay. The legal gambleizing. Oh, baby. I am Chris Simms. I'm okay.
Good every time.
Damn. Okay.
Okay, we get to continue with Devin White here.
Yeah.
So you said he needed bigger numbers. 12 tackles, game high.
Yeah.
2 tackles for loss.
Right.
Pass defended.
Yeah.
Pick.
I know. Listen, to me, Johnny Football Guy, I love those. Those are MVP numbers.
Yeah.
It's just to Johnny Ryder who's voting on the thing, it's not to him.
Right.
That's the problem. It's just all we're talked about is quarterback stats. That's all we talk about anymore. So, yeah, listen, we can name 5 Super Bowls over the last 20 years where I go, the quarterback shouldn't be the MVP.
Right.
But he is, and that's just the way it is. But phenomenal performance. And I do wish they could find a way. Maybe they need to have an award, Defensive Player of the Super Bowl. Find something to give somebody love than the Super Bowl winning quarterback every time.
Every time.
I mean, Todd Bowles was amazing. You could have gave him the MVP trophy yesterday. I mean, you really could have.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I feel like we're not giving you and I, hopefully we can right now, but I haven't heard enough about how well the defensive backs played. Front 4 was awesome. They won just like they had to continually.
Yeah.
Love the linebackers. They were terrific. Defensive backs.
Amazing.
The way they ran, the way they tackled, and kept everything in front of them.
Exactly.
How much did we hear about yards after the catch?
I know.
Before this.
Never came a thing.
Didn't hear about it at all.
No, they were great. Didn't see them bust a coverage all night long. Nothing. Never took the cheese and oh wait, there's Tyreek Hill. Oh wait, I got a guy over there that he's going to take him now. I'm passing him off into that zone. Hold on, let me be disciplined and stay over here because somebody's coming into my zone. They were on their game. And again, Todd Bowles, he didn't really put them in a vulnerable position all game like they did in that first matchup. So they never really were in a spot to where, hey, you guys are going to lose your confidence here because now they're going to dice you up. He did a great job of always making them feel like they were in a position of power.
Right.
And he played the right, just approach in general on the defensive side of the ball where they played good team defense, they disguised, and they said their offensive line's issues, and then he's not 100%. Let's make him just pat the ball once or twice, and our front 4 can get there if we can just make him do that. And to me, that's where Bowles won the football game for them.
How many times have we watched the Chiefs the last couple of years, and all season long, where when you watch it felt like, man, is the field 59 yards wide?
Right.
Are they playing with 12 guys? And none of it was evident. What did they do specifically with Tyreek Hill? Because that's kind of how I started it last week.
Sure.
I was like, what's the plan going to be for this guy?
Yeah.
And something worked pretty well.
Always had safeties looking him up. You know what I mean? So even if it's, all right, first off, it's 2-man, right? That's 2 deep safeties, everybody man underneath. All right, that's a great way always to protect somebody, right? But it wasn't always just that. It was a lot of Okay, like I told you, man underneath, and now there might be 4 guys back just playing an umbrella coverage. And the safeties are aware, oh, wait, Hill's over there. There's a good chance he's going to cross over to this deep part of where I am now. And they were looking at him. Okay, and then it was every now and then, and let's just double him on this play altogether. So it was a lot of that. But either way, he was never in a position to be running down the field by himself in a one-on-one opportunity.
Right.
It was always some form of 2 deep or 3 deep and cool ways of doing it. It wasn't just like, hey, we lined up in 3 deep. It's the safety, the corners, that's 3 deep and 4 under. No, they were doing it in ways where you were like, wait, one safety's over here looking like he's playing cover 2. The other safety's in the middle almost like he's playing Tampa 2 linebacker. And then there's another safety over here who looks like he's playing quarters coverage. So they had a specific game plan and coverages called for this football team. And, yes, executed smartly. They tackled, like you said. And that was the biggest thing, too. They rallied. And for me, again, I'll just say, I think Kansas City dropped the ball a little bit with attacking with the quick, short passes that we've seen them do really against Buffalo and Cleveland quite a bit.
And literally dropped the ball with some of their biggest players in some big moments as well.
Huge moments.
Couple of other damn okays defensively. Antoine Winfield, 6 tackles, interception, couple of passes defended. Baller. He was excellent. Carlton Davis, remember how much he struggled in the first game against Kansas City? Go ahead and roll this. There it is. I mean, comparing Week 12, and he showed up a lot. He was cited a lot for the guy that got burned.
Right.
Look at what he did in the turnaround.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. But, you know, and again, this is one of the young, phenomenal corners in our league. But they did a good job of not putting him in a position to fail yesterday.
He was in a zone a lot. I mean,
a lot.
He was there and getting credit for it as he should. But he was in those tough man spots Week 12 and he wasn't last night.
They put him in spots in Week 12 that you just go, I don't care. We can get Deion Sanders out here. He's going to let up some big plays.
Right. I want to say for everybody who can't see it, 2 receptions as opposed to 12 that he gave up in Week 12. 14 yards against him as opposed to 236 back late November.
They had just a great feel of how they were going to be attacked. And you know, just a great job of within those playing the zones for the most part of the day, too, of just, hey, look at the big picture. Okay, you know, like early on in the game, I don't know if you remember this play. He throws like the McCole Hardman corner route and incomplete on a 3rd down. You know, it was kind of attacking Carlton Davis. They were playing a 3 deep coverage. They ran Tyreek Hill at him to run an out route, right? Mm-hmm. But he's responsible for the deep third. And he didn't take the cheese. He kind of just saw the big picture of the play and went, wait, I see this guy going vertical, and yeah, Tyreek's coming at me, but I have a curl flat player inside. Let me get back out. And that made Mahomes have to throw the ball safe, and they didn't play over aggressive.
He wasn't even close to open.
He wasn't even
all over.
No, they did a great job throughout the night. There was very little easy completions other than some of those ones that we talked about over the middle to Kelsey and things like that where they picked apart the zone a little bit, like I said, which I thought we were going to see 40 different versions of how to do those type of plays in the game.
Subtle thing here, but David was so on him, Levante David, so close to him that he was never able to catch and turn upfield. I shouldn't say never.
No,
not
but for
very
the most
often.
part,
when the game mattered,
you're right.
You catch it. I mean, he was tackled right away.
That is a huge aspect of the football game. I mean, you already hit on it. The fact that they really got very little yards after the catch other than 1 or 2 Tyreek plays, I mean, that was a big aspect. When it was man-to-man situations, what it looks like to be man. Underneath is a zone coverage. He's matched up into him. Yeah, they never really exposed Tampa with their athletic ability throughout. They really, you caught it. Okay, we tackled you right there, but you didn't get an extra 12 yards getting down the field on us.
Right. Front 4. This is a ridiculous number. Shaq Barrett, 11 quarterback pressures, double-digit pressures.
It was ridiculous in general. Paul, there was plays yesterday during the game when I'm watching on TV, and the way the defensive line got in, I went, the Kansas City's going to throw a screen here. And I'm going, oh, wait, that wasn't a screen. They were trying to pass protect. I thought they were letting them go to try to run a screen.
When you said a couple weeks ago, I mean, maybe it was last week, I asked you about the biggest weakness for Kansas City. Right away with conviction, you sat up and said, offensive line.
I was saying that, week 14?
Even buying into that,
right.
I did not picture just the complete manhandling.
No. I did not either.
We're going to see last night.
I did not either. I did not. Nope. And there's no doubt. I did not see that manhandling. It was a free-for-all at some points. Early on, it was okay. It wasn't horrible early on. When I watched back the film, I went, the protection was a little better earlier on than I thought, but they were still in their mode of, we're trying to throw the ball down the field.
Yeah.
And so the protection was good, but there was nothing underneath for him to throw or do
Exactly.
anything. And then as the game went on, they just started to get worn out up front. And then it became even the short passes. It was like, there was a few plays in the third and fourth quarter when you're going, oh, Kansas City might be able to come back still. Mm-hmm. It's not likely.
We were all
but
waiting
you're going,
for it.
you're just going, they might be able to. And he had a few times where you go, ooh, there's going to be somebody open, but he can't even give it the time of the day. He's already running for his life. And again, this is where I want to go with the toe issue. This is where, because I had a few of my friends, like, they saw what I was saying on Twitter last night. They were like, dude, the toe, do you think it would have made that big of a difference? Listen, I'm not saying they would have won the game. I do think it would have been a whole lot closer. You got to remember all these plays where he's running to the sideline and throwing it away as he's getting tackled. I'm just telling you, in Chris Simms' estimation, on some of those, a healthy Mahomes is going to turn the corner and attack the line of scrimmage. And then it's going to be, oh, crap, we got to go up and tackle him.
Right.
Or now, oh, we did that, and he throws a laser behind you, right?
Yeah.
He never could get into that because of his movement. His greatest and their greatest weapon when you play soft zone coverages has always been his ability to move around and manipulate them.
Yeah.
And not to say they would have won the game, but it was greatly affected by his toe last night. Even plays like this, for all you fans out there, when the pocket was around him and he usually gets up in a spot and dips out, right, and finds a gap,
Yeah.
he couldn't explode to get through some of those gaps to attack the line of scrimmage a few times. And those were the plays where you saw him, like, now he's being dragged to the ground and throwing it just as he's tackled. Like, those are plays where when I went back and watched the film, I go, 5 weeks ago, he's going to outrun that guy. And he's going to be scot-free a yard behind the line of scrimmage, and a linebacker is going to be coming up and going, oh, that guy can't let him scramble. And then it's, shoo, oh, it's a pass to Tyreek or Kelsey. And because of the toe, that aspect of their game was definitely taken away.
It was a different kind of running we saw from Mahomes. He was retreating. He was in the defensive scramble mode. Early in the game, 3rd and 7, he was able to escape pressure and run for a first.
Run to left, right.
And it reminded me, remember at the end of the game in November, he ran for a couple first downs late when they really had to stop him and couldn't. I'm like, oh, here we go again. They're going to chase him out of the pocket. He's going to run for a bunch of first downs and throw for 400. I don't know if he ran for another first down the rest of the night.
Maybe one more.
Because he was always running the other way.
I know. Maybe one more, I think. But it was limited. It really was. And even on that, that's what I told Pete before we started the show. I said, man, when you watch on film and you see the end zone cuts of some of these runs, he's running with a giddy up. He's not running the normal stride of like what you've seen from Mahomes. He was laboring, certainly. And again, I'm not saying it makes a difference in the football game, but it makes a difference in the fact where, hey, the Bucs can feel comfortable about what they're doing. They didn't have to leave their game plan that way. And just Mahomes wasn't able to quite make some of the magic that we usually see him make.
Not the reason they lost, but it mattered.
No, it mattered.
But it mattered.
No doubt. Like, I think if he's 100%, we're sitting here going, this game came down to the wire or something like that.
They at least would have scored a touchdown or two.
Right.
Pete, I think there's one more thing you wanted to run on 4th down. Early 4th quarter, 4th down incompletion here.
Yeah.
Let's take a peek here.
Well, this is, all right, so I don't even start this yet. This speaks to it.
Yeah.
I mean, this play, did you just say jailbreak, or was that Pete that said jailbreak?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a jailbreak.
Yeah.
It's a 4-man rush. And this would be one of those plays where you're going, are they setting up a screen, or are they trying to, like, actually pass protect here? Like, it is phenomenal. Go ahead and let it run, because you're going to see these two defense ends go right by their guys. There is no stopping. Well, I thought it was Barrett, but there it's Golston and then JPP who just fly in there. And now he's running for his life and, of course, just throwing the ball as he's vertical to the field or horizontal to the field. But it was just so many plays like that. Rewind it one more time there, just to where you see Golston on the right side. I mean, does not even get like his momentum slowed down. He literally gets to go right between the guard and the tackle, and Mahomes has got nothing. Mahomes here, maybe he would have had like Kelsey, and if you rewind one more time, I just want to show it. Like, see where Kelsey is on the left of the 3 receivers? He kind of curls up right at the first down, and if he's got no pressure, he's probably going to be able to hit him as he curls up right there and maybe get the first down. It's going to be a tight throw, but I think, I've seen them do that before, but he can't even give it a chance to develop because he's already on the run. And, that'll be one of the lasting images of the Super Bowl is just Mahomes running for his life.
At recess in grade school, when you were playing quarterback, did you make the D-line count to like 3 Mississippi?
3 Mississippi.
Remember that?
Yeah.
I had that thought last night. I'm watching. I'm like, boy, can we make the dudes count to 3 Mississippi before they go? I mean,
Seriously.
maybe then it would be a fair fight.
I know.
Because it wasn't
even 3 Mississippi. You're right. It was not.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.